Hello, friends, and welcome to another edition of the TV is Our Real Mom podcast. I'm your host, Dave, and tonight I'm joined by my co-host, Katie, and
That's me.
Our other sister, Cassie. Cassie,
Boom. Finger gun.
How you doing, Cass?
I'm pretty good. Just
Good.
watched
All
Survivor.
She just watched it.
Yeah, it's fresh.
It's fresh. All right.
Shit's fresh.
Are you guys
Just
ready?
like them sea slugs.
them fresh sea slugs.
Ooh, child.
They looked like a perfectly round turd.
They said to me that they were turds,
Cassie
and
thought
I
it was a
believed them.
turd.
Yeah,
Might as well have been. What would you rather eat?
Well, a
A
sea
sea
slug.
slug, yeah. Angela probably eats them every day of the week. Sea slugs.
They went down pretty easy for her.
Smooth.
Were you guys impressed by Angela's
No, she drove me
performance?
crazy. I mean, it was fine. I'm good for her, but that was really annoying, right?
You mean like her dancing and stuff?
That was weird.
It
But
was
the act itself was.
impressive.
Right.
I couldn't do it.
Yes.
Right. Michael was so close to winning that.
he
He
was
was.
close.
Yeah, he couldn't quite get
It would have been good if he had won it, and then he wouldn't have to burn his idol. But I mean, it was a hell of an idol play.
Yeah.
Everybody was surprised.
It was a good play. It was memorable.
Cassie bought it because the editing was. She was like, "Well, it's going home. Well, what are you gonna
I
do?"
was like, it's over.
And then he
because
took
they
it.
lingered so long
Yes,
on the
they
part where
did.
he's not playing it, and
They
then
doubled the.
yeah, and then the music swells up. It's like when
Yeah,
you know
'cause
he's
she
about
knew.
And
to
that
hit.
was right at the point where I was like, well, that's it.
That's it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that I remember that was my reaction too.
That was
like, oh, he's
everybody's
not gonna play it.
Because there was the traditional edit, but then they faked you out with it.
Yeah.
Right.
There's just been so many like near misses like that where they
Mhm.
should have played it like lately,
Oh,
and they
yeah,
didn't.
yeah, in
like so I
Survivor
just assumed
history.
he was gonna be a bonehead like everybody else.
Like Chris Noble before him,
Yes,
the
Yeah.
noble one.
noble one.
Perfect
would
example
not
the
gonna-
week before.
He's not gonna go like the noble one.
No, I'm glad. I want Michael to stick around longer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like him.
Oh,
I think he's a
yes.
really good player.
When we had you on the podcast earlier this season, you said
Picked him.
Michael
He's
was
my
your
winner
winner
pick. Yeah.
But I have to be honest with you. I mean, he's not going to win. He's-
Why do you think that?
well, this is what I talked about. I can't remember if I think I talked about it last week on the podcast, how it sucks that these days, like, we love seeing people play idols and that's exciting. But as soon as you play an idol, your chances of winning go down like by 90%.
Unless
Yeah.
you keep finding them, like
Like
certain
people. And that we also
We
talked
don't want.
about that.
Nobody wants that.
Exactly.
though,
That's
anymore.
that's what
He's
sucks
already
about the
found
whole.
two.
Yeah.
That's what sucks about the whole situation. You know, that's what you're going to end up with. You're going to end up with somebody who played idols, and now I'm cheering for them, but they have zero chance. And if they do win, it's going to be because they did a Ben thing and found.
Yeah.
everybody else.
Or maybe we don't want to say that because you can't do a Ben thing with 11 people left in the game.
That'd be
Right.
a lot of Ben.
That'd be a lot of
benning.
idols.
A lot of Ben bombs.
That's too much benning.
That's way too much.
But let's say this one idol buys him enough time to exploit the cracks that are clearly already there.
That's what I was saying. There's cracks. They were showing the cracks, like with Donathan, and who was Donathan talking with?
Laurel and the
Yeah.
Malolos.
There is definitely like wiggle room there, and I think Michael. Although it seemed like when Michael was talking, it seemed like no one really was listening
receptive.
to him. Like he
Yeah.
was
Because they
talking.
already all knew that he was the target. I think
Yeah.
he's been the target for a long time. I think Angela stirring the pot wasn't what made Michael a target. I think he's been a target
Yeah,
since
I
the
think
merge.
he might have like a sort of like robot quality, like you were
Mm-hmm.
talking about, and I think it just might kind of put people off. And that's,
Yeah, he might not be as likable as
Yeah.
as
Wendell,
we
if
think.
Wendell likes you, you must be good.
Well, yeah.
Right?
yeah.
Okay, but
He
doesn't
liked the
Wendell
kid.
like everybody?
Well, that's true too.
You know what? That's the one thing that would make Wendell cool. Well, he did that. Like last week, he like mocked Chris, so he doesn't like everybody.
Right.
He
You know
did
what I
like
mean?
But
Chris,
he
though.
liked Chris.
He liked, but he mocked his rapping in
did?
an epic
Oh.
fashion.
Everyone mocked Chris's rapping though.
Yeah.
Right,
Like
but he did it in the best way.
that rapping was made to be mocked. So I mean,
True. But
it's not like
people
he was
also
doing
love
anything. Right. But I mean, it's not like he was doing anything out of the
I
ordinary.
was just gonna say
by-
the one thing that would make Wendell cooler would be like if he just has someone he just hates and just talks rags on him
Right.
all the time. That would be
Yeah.
super relatable, at least for me.
Yeah, that would be good.
And specifically, if that person was Kellen,
Oh, that
then
would
I'd be
great.
like, "You are my Survivor soulmate, and what I've waited for forever."
I wanted to point out I liked how he had his buff in the
In the knot,
top knot thing. That's never been done before.
Yeah,
Wendell had
knowledge.
that.
the buff knot.
The buff knot.
Like
Yeah.
so, like the kind of fro that he has, he was like tucked up into
Yeah,
this
into
little.
the-
It was
buff.
the bun. The buff itself was in like a bun.
Oh,
Mhm.
sweet. Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't even notice that.
It was quite fashionable.
Nice.
I think. Yeah.
So, anyways, yeah, Michael has no chance. Just
Yeah.
because, like, he's gonna be the target next week. He hasn't gone
don't
away. He has no idols left. I
He
think
could
he's-
win immunity. He could win
Yeah,
it.
but
the
Ben
whole
did
time.
that too. So it's like a you
Ben
could get-
never won immunity.
didn't he win immunity.
Nope, Chrissy won
So
like
that's
every immunity.
misinformation because, like, I swear Rob and Steven were like, a combination of immunity wins and immunity idols got him to the end. They said that.
No immunity wins
Maybe like
whatsoever. That
Really?
was
So
all
that's-
women last year.
So
that
they
won
had that
immunities.
wrong because I swear they said that in the podcast, and I was misremembering it too. I thought that was true.
Ben never won immunity. Ben was
Okay.
garbage in the challenges.
So it's
all
all-
he could do was find buried treasure. Sorry.
Treasure hunting.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't want to go back to that negativity.
Yeah, we always do
Always go
every
back.
week.
It
Every
hurts.
damn week.
it still stings.
There's a hole in my heart where that season finale sits.
Ah,
Ah,
okay.
that was.
But yeah,
garbage.
so that sucked for Michael because, like, I'm rooting for him too. As I said,
Yeah, I
when
think
you-
everyone is.
I'm still
Yeah.
hopeful. I don't know. I think he's smart enough to figure something out. But the
I
thing
think
is,
he's
you
gone.
need people, and he doesn't seem to. He hasn't this whole time.
Bingo.
He hasn't
Yeah,
seemed to have
but
people on his side.
Someone could
some
rope him
reason.
in because these Navides, these dumb Navides, can't just stick together anymore and like use Laurel and Donathan because eventually Kellen and those guys are gonna want to go after Laurel or Donathan. And Dom and
Mhm.
Wendell, I would hope, since they are emphatically stating that that's their two main people, that they're not going to let that happen. But 4 people isn't enough to stop it from happening. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
They're gonna need to have some Malolos or bring over a Navidi, like maybe Michael or Jenna or Seabass or something. They're gonna need more people if they want to keep that 4 together
Mhm.
because they're 2 people from 2 different sides.
Mhm.
Yeah, but maybe that 4 can convince like someone like Kellen, someone like Desi to work with them.
They better not work with Kellen.
It could happen.
It seems like there's a definite like female group forming. That's
Kellen, Desi,
yeah.
Chelsea, who's
Chelsea.
obviously running it.
Yeah.
and who?
Angela
Angela.
She's
thinks
always-
she's running it or thinks she's contributing, which I don't know if she actually is. Did you buy that?
You
Chelsea's
mean
always
what?
the one explaining the plan to everyone else. She always has the best grasp of it, it seems.
Or she's like the middleman or something.
Yeah.
I noticed that.
She's less
that she-
offensive than Kellen.
Yeah, I guess.
Or Kellen's like, Chelsea, go explain this to the
That's something I read is that one of the reasons Chelsea was so gung ho to get Bradley out is so she could be Kellen's right hand
Oh.
person,
Really?
which
Well,
is
that's
why she and
interesting.
Dom were so eager to eliminate
Bradley.
Bradley.
Okay.
I've already forgotten that he was like around.
Yeah.
Isn't that
Well,
crazy?
remember Morgan?
Yeah. Oh, Morgan.
yeah.
See, like that's how the show goes. Like
yeah.
Remember
you forget
Morgan?
about
The
these
name
people.
is just-
Remember
gone.
Jacob
Yeah.
Derwin? No, like
Jacob.
No.
No,
Jacob.
she doesn't remember Jacob Derwin.
I don't remember any of them.
The second
except
boot
the
of
ones on
season.
this season.
Remember Stephanie Gonzalez?
Yeah, I do remember her actually. 'Cause she was so mean.
Yeah.
She was so
kinda
mean
mean.
to
In
Donathan.
Like
Yeah.
pregame stuff.
And in pregame, she was mean in pregame.
she was mean to Jonathan in the show, wasn't
Yeah.
she?
Yeah,
For
she was
what?
gunning for him.
Yeah.
And I remember just how frail and sad he looked at that first tribal council.
No,
Like he
he
was
looked
like
like a
leaning
ghost.
away from everyone else. It was so sad. It was just a very memorable
I don't
image.
know what to do, Jack.
I have a story about Morgan though. So there was like, and I know you don't like when I bring up the Instagram stuff, but I always go on their Instagram. It was
so
not a
far,
spoiler.
all of
He
it seems to
loves
be
Instagram.
aligned with what we thought.
Yeah, it's not a spoiler. There were just season 36 people hanging out with season 35 people watching the episode, and like while during the eating challenge, Angela was doing her thing, and they were like, "She's losing her mind," and Morgan was like, "She doesn't have a mind to lose."
Oh.
And I was like, so-
somebody's taking things
Sour grapes.
personal.
Or they just, I don't know that anyone respects Angela's game very much or mind,
Well,
even though she's all about psychological warfare.
so you're saying she doesn't win this season?
I'm saying
I-
that the people that were voted out early from Navidi that spent time with her didn't like her,
Right. So
Well,
which
She-
could mean anything. I just thought it was funny.
okay. Fine.
I
I
thought
was
it was
saying-
funny.
she pictures them all laying on the ground as casualties in her mind. So
That was terrifying
Yeah.
to me. Was that not
that
terrifying
whole
to you?
image.
Is that what she said?
She
I
was
would
standing with
picture
a sword.
myself after a war and getting all these casualties and being the last one. What did she say?
Last one standing while all the casualties were laying
around
her.
all my casualties. And I was just like,
yeah.
I mean, it's,
but they're trying to sell. They're trying to sell this character of the army general.
Yeah.
That's why they gave her like the snare drum in the background. I don't know if you heard that, but there's
I did not.
There's
that's a nice
like
touch.
little war snare drum while she's talking. She's the general, and that's the character. That's the character they've pinned her as, and they're going to continue to sell her as for the rest of the season. So that confessional is in line with that character.
You know what drives me crazy about her? Because Michael, okay, he probably shouldn't have chosen to speak to Angela about anything.
Apparently not, but I don't know why she turned on him like that.
But that's what I was going to say, is that why did Angela, when she heard that Kellen and Chelsea went against her, she doubled down on being loyal to Kellen and Chelsea.
Yeah.
Like she saw that, like, her knee-jerk reaction is more loyalty, more diehard purple Navidi.
Yeah.
So weird.
Yeah. So you don't like what she was doing. You don't think like all this running around and stirring the pot, as she said.
Oh, she wanted to stir the pot.
That's what she wanted to do. So you don't see that as some kind of agency. You don't think that changed anything. You don't think that.
I think Michael was already a target.
Yeah.
Right. I agree with that. But the episode definitely tried to force it down your throat that this is Angela's agency stirring the pot and making this vote happen. So it sounds like you don't.
I don't buy that.
Yeah, you know how you were talking last week about how the feud thing between Chris and Dom, like usually that turns on the other person in the feud too. Like, why didn't people turn on Dom this week?
He made the decision not to call shots this week.
Oh yeah, he was gonna try to not be the leader.
Yeah, he had a nice little confessional that set that up.
Yeah.
But really, he just didn't do anything this week.
Yeah,
you know, I don't
he was still talking to Libby.
Yeah, that's true. So you guys gonna miss Libby on the show?
I was interested in her, but they didn't give us anything.
Yeah,
I was never interested in her. What was so interesting?
Well, they
kind
of were going somewhere in the beginning with her. How she
was like a devil in an angel's body. I would have been interested to see that.
I'm good at lying. I'll fool you, and then nothing ever came of that. Like she just
was there.
They didn't show her do anything. So, and then they were talking about how she was supposedly a power couple with Michael, and
we didn't see any of that either.
Where did that come from?
Yeah, it makes you wonder if there was any of that. You know,
there must have been. Otherwise, why would people be saying it?
Right, or if it's just like they're the two youngest, most attractive people.
Yeah,
there's so many power couples. People could say that about Laurel and Jonathan. They could say that about Dom and Wendell. They could say that about.
No one said it was about Jen
Kellen
and
Chelsea and Jen and Sebastian. Like it's an excuse.
Yeah, it's just another excuse when they're gunning for those two to begin with.
I think it's stupid because they're gonna need numbers if the Navidi's gonna split. So someone could have used Michael.
And I'm sorry, but I do think they're gunning for Michael next week again.
Jeff Probst said next week is one of his favorite episodes so
of
far
all time?
of the season.
Yeah, and you've taught me by now that like Jeff does give some of this stuff away when he says stuff like that. Like you know that it can't just be the straightforward like
Angela goes home
or Michael goes home after playing his idol the week before. If he says something like that, it's impossible, right? Or could it be that great and you know that great of an episode and that's what happens? I don't know.
Maybe. I want to see some Des action. It looks like Des is getting in the middle of stuff next. I hope that doesn't mean she gets booted out.
I know.
I hope it means maybe she moves over to some Malolos and is like, let's do this.
Yeah.
Maybe let's target Kellen.
I mean, I think they have to because it's true. Laurel is right. Like Dom and Wendell are like the power guys
so
right
much
now,
power,
and they have like idols and
as much as I love Dominic and Wendell, I don't see it as a sustainable.
It would be boring if they were just like.
It would. I might turn on them the way I turned on Ben.
No, you would never.
I love Wendell.
They're completely different.
That's only if they kept finding idols. Like right now, they're both just hanging on to their idols.
Yeah,
they haven't even had to use them yet, and they might not have to until the numbers get even smaller. So
right, but. If Wendell has shared the information that he has the idol, how do you feel about that?
Oh, that's a good question. Who did he share?
Just Laurel, but she could tell Donovan,
she's wobbling.
Yeah,
so I think she's like ultra paranoid, like too much.
She's getting there.
Wendell's really actually with her.
Yeah, he is,
and she's just like.
But yeah, I mean, you really get that sense in those scenes of what these players go through, where they're literally talking to someone they've seen as a friend and they're questioning they're like I know what Survivor's all about. It's about turning on your friends, and you can see it
Oh,
in their eyes. Are like
the whole time he
like
was talking to her, she was like,
that Curb Your
"Who are you?"
Yeah,
You know?
you can see it in both their eyes, and that Curb Your Enthusiasm thing where Larry David like squints at people and he leans closer, and then the other people go back and they're like. That happens in a lot of episodes. Hilarious every time. But that's what Survivor becomes for these people that got close.
Just side-eyeing
the smart
people.
players remind themselves, can I trust this person?
Well, just imagine.
But it's too much for Laurel.
Just imagine, like, you don't have this advantage or this idol. Someone you thought was like your closest ally in the game comes to you and says, "Oh, I have this awesome thing that's going to keep me in the game no matter what. Sorry, you don't have one, but I do." You know.
Oh, Dom has one too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And we didn't tell you. It just it's such an excluding feeling. I'm sure.
I think that's what it was more than anything. She felt hurt that they didn't tell her right away.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But at the same time, Cassie makes a great point that I'd be scared of that as a game player.
Yeah.
It would get the wheels turning. Like,
oh, yeah.
And she says it in her confessionals, like, I need to make a move on these guys.
Because
so you got to wonder
that much power in like two allies' hands, like that's the game, you know.
Exactly.
If you don't do something about it,
and they don't have many votes to go.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we said last week. Like, they are gonna have to start getting these idols out of the way because they got Michael's is good. We're done there.
Mm-hmm.
But now there's 2 more idols in the hands,
and they are working together.
And now they'll put another one out there again, right? Because Michael's was played, or won't they?
They very well
one
could.
Into the mix?
Yeah.
There's Ghost Island, man.
Yeah.
Ghost Island's in play. There's more stuff coming out. We haven't seen David Wright's fake idol. That's coming. That was in the preview. I'm expecting to see it.
Yeah.
What else?
Lauren.
And there's stuff we saw that wasn't even in the preview, like Andrea's idol, which is what Dom has.
Yeah.
Lauren, do you think Lauren's going to come in? Because they haven't seen
Probably
it.
not.
They don't need to, though. They could be like the season that just was filmed just before you played. This is what happened.
But you know nothing.
And whoever plays it, this is for Lauren, who I've never seen, and I don't know who it is.
This is for Lauren, whoever you are.
Sorry, Lauren, but good for me.
Good for me.
Yeah, I mean, that's what's interesting about Ghost Island is it almost makes the like excessive idols that we've complained about over the last 2 or 3 seasons.
Yeah, it works in this season.
Yeah, it works in this season because you're excited to see like which idol are they going to bring back.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Keep adding in more idols because I want to see which one you're gonna use.
Yeah, it's almost like a trick move on their part to make
it'll
be
interesting to count at the end of this season, a season all about advantages, cursed advantages, and idols. Which season had more idol plays, 35 or 36?
That will be interesting.
I
think we're already getting close.
Yeah, do you have a
there
count,
were 8 played idols
last season
in season 35,
and we're at what 3 now?
Played idols?
How many have been played? 2?
2.
2. Okay.
Oh, only 2, really?
An advantage as well, right?
I guess legacy advantage counts as an idol.
2, yeah, it kind of does. It's immunity.
But it's technically an advantage.
3 played so far. Game Changer's a lot.
1 advantage, 2 idols.
Yeah. It's neither here nor there.
You're splitting hairs.
It gets into
splitting hairs, man. That's my Sebastian.
What did you think of Sebastian's tears as he was trying to get?
No, we should talk about all the faces at the food eating challenge. They were just all.
Katie, you want to do your Kellen impression?
Katie has a great Kellen impression.
No, it's just more exasperation.
It's more of a squirrel impression.
Yeah,
basically.
Just imagine Katie being a squirrel,
but like a really excited squirrel to be on Survivor.
Yeah, the squirrel is very excited to be playing Survivor.
Yes.
And like shock and awe at everything he sees.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah. Okay.
You kind of have to.
You kind of have to now.
It's not good, and I don't want people to be like, "Oh, she's such a Kellen hater," and she is. It's fair, and there's no logical reason for it. It's just there.
You've seen something, and you're like, I don't want to see that
anymore.
I don't like that. I don't like that thing.
It's like a sea slug.
What did you guys think of the gross food stuff? Like, I thought it wasn't that bad. Like,
it was gross enough.
Might have been okay. The fish eye might have been okay.
Like some of them weren't that bad compared to other seasons. I feel like other seasons are way grosser.
What do you think of? I mean, the sea slugs. Was that the grubs?
They looked like turds.
Yeah, they did. And all she did was just slide it down her mouth.
Yeah, it was running down her throat.
No, the worst though is the grubs doing that. But do you think that's fair? Like, shouldn't you have to chew it?
Yeah, because it's not that gross. Although it is kind of gross to imagine it wriggling down your throat,
Yeah.
Slimy yet satisfying.
crawling in your stomach and stuff, because you will feel that.
I felt like physical revulsion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Cassie
at
was
that. I was
convulsing
yeah.
at that
To
part.
me, the grubs were always possibly the grossest thing they had
They're
to
just
eat.
so.
Oh, tarantulas. They've had to eat big ass tarantulas before.
I would pull a
and you
Wendell
could
on
see
that
like
one.
yellow ooze coming out of them as they bite into them.
Nope.
They weren't like live, were they?
No, they're
Aren't
cooked.
They poisonous?
They were cooked.
No, they used tarantulas.
I think they said they defanged them or something like that.
Yeah.
Or they took the poison out.
They use tarantulas on like Chopped now, and I think that they use it on Top Chef recently as
Oh
well.
my god! Like
So it's like
That's
getting
obnoxious.
whole
yeah,
ones?
it is obnoxious.
Like whole ones.
They come in a little can. It's
Oh,
a can, and you
jeez.
pull it out.
Oh
What
my
kind of a
god!
douchebag
Yeah.
goes to the
Oh,
store and buys
jeez.
tarantula?
Yeah.
See, that's the worst to me though. Like big spiders,
Oh.
eat that.
Yeah, no, I couldn't do
Or
that. I'd be
mean-
Wendell. Wendell's strategy would have been mine. Like, oops.
Nope.
yeah,
Nope.
yeah. So
Sorry.
do you guys think that he purposely dropped
Yes.
that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it seemed to
100%.
me he did, right? Like
Yeah.
he's like, I don't want to eat this crap.
I don't
I'm gonna
eat this.
pretend
I
like I
wouldn't.
dropped it. That way it makes it look like, oh, I didn't mean
Shoot.
to.
It's probably good because in the reward challenge, he made himself a big target.
Oh,
'cause
man,
he
he
won
was
that
so
good.
on his own.
Oh yeah,
So
that's
good.
right.
Well, Laurel was good.
Laura
too.
was really good.
But they
too.
had, he basically did it.
He did.
that. We should talk about that shot where of him
Oh yeah.
running from doing the graceful move on the balance beam to the shore and then running up and doing his shot. They like zoomed out and like wide angle lens shot
Yeah.
that whole thing, and
It was no cuts, one single shot,
Yeah.
and they never do that in Survivor. It's always
Quick
fast,
shots.
fast cuts, close ups. But they basically showed for once in the show that like this guy, here's proof that this guy actually did this,
Mhm.
and one like it's not just like we cut it that way. Wendell is that
yeah.
talented,
It
physically
was
talented.
It was worthy. It was a nice display of athleticism.
Yeah,
for
and
sure.
I thought that was really cool too to show a shot like that. They haven't done that before,
Mhm,
so that was
mhm.
cool. And it does basically show that Wendell is a huge threat when it comes to some of these like carnival game type challenges.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
if it's a shooting or slingshot or hoop game and you're up against Wendell, you're going to lose.
And wasn't there
Yeah.
a challenge where he was directing a puzzle too? He was telling
Yes.
people
Oh,
where the
that's
puzzle
right.
and he like whooped ass
He
at
was
it.
really good at
so
it.
he's
Yeah.
the-
Yeah.
he's a
He's
really good player.
scary.
He's
Yes.
scary good.
And you'd think they would start kind of seeing that now.
Well,
Well,
who did-
Michael
who did
is.
Michael
Yeah, Michael
target?
saw it, yeah.
Yeah, so I think
And yet they're targeting him. I mean,
So,
he's probably more of a threat too.
I
don't
think
think-
I
well, I
think
mean,
Wendell's
he's
not
gonna-
more of a threat than Wendell.
Right.
But he is, like, it's not like he's not
right
a threat.
up there. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think Michael is still front of mind for everybody, but now is a chance for someone like Laurel to make a big move against Wendell or Dominic.
But then
And-
you got to think Wendell's on the jury then, and for Laurel that probably
Wendell's
would be a bad
calm.
move.
Wendell would still give it to
but
her.
that's a good point. Like,
But I mean,
when
in
you
her
put
mind,
people on the
she'd
jury,
be like, "Oh, he wouldn't forgive me for that," you know?
Yeah, but Wendell might also be the kind of person who's like, or if you're an egotistical person, you'd be like, I'm giving it to the person who was able to get me out because I'm that good
Yeah.
that it takes skills to get me out.
yeah,
Yeah.
you
And
gotta
it would
be-
take skills to get him out because he's got an idol and he's Wendell.
Do you
he's freaking
think
good?
Chris Noble would vote for Dom as winner?
Yeah, they're like
That's
BFFs
a really good
now.
question.
I think he would. Like, I think he's like,
They hugged.
Well, they
yeah,
seem,
he's like instantly forgiven. You
Yeah.
know, when he got voted out, he was like, "All right, fine." And
He
I think
did.
he would vote for him, even if he didn't play the best game. I think he would just to like prove like bygones were bygones. He would
yeah,
vote for Dom.
yeah, and that's funny how it's like roundabout. Like it's his ego that's making him.
Big person I am.
I guess
See
whatever.
how noble I am.
Yeah, see how noble
I
I
am
am.
truly the noble one.
Yeah, yeah.
I 100%
I
think he
agree.
would.
I think he would vote for
I think
Dominic.
he would.
You know.
I think chances of seeing Dominic at the end are pretty small.
Yeah, I mean, for
Slippery.
me, Michael, Dominic, and Wendell, that's kind of the order of operations for who they're going to target. The only caveat being, I think, Jeff says next week's going to be an amazing episode. There's
Mhm.
mad potential for Laurel to turn on one of those guys.
Mhm.
So either that happens or Michael's targeted. But
I mean,
those three are it's gonna be tough for them to get to the end.
They kind of planted the seeds this week with Laurel and Jonathan talking to each other about, making
Possibly
a move.
making the
you
move.
know?
Maybe it could happen next
Oh,
week.
my Wendell.
But
I was really
it's gonna be
worried
tough.
when
So was I.
that vote for Wendell was read.
I was like,
oh,
shit, here we go.
no,
It's Wendell.
I don't want Michael, but I don't want this either,
That's the best though when a season's like, no, I don't want them.
Yeah.
I don't want them to go.
It's a really good season.
And I thought
Really
this
good.
episode did do a good job of, because I felt the exact same way of you know, you really didn't know what was going to happen.
No,
you
they
thought
left it
every
pretty up in
option
the
was
air.
possible.
Yeah.
You know, before the episode started, I was like, Katie's right. It's going to be Libby this week.
I was right.
And she was
hey,
right.
you guys are on a roll then.
Yeah, we're going back
Your
and forth.
turn
So
now.
I got to be right
Pressure's
next week.
on.
So I'm going to go off. Well, we don't
Not-
need to
we're
get
not there yet.
predictions
Not quite
but-
there.
So, but yeah, so I was like, yeah, it's probably going to be Libby this week, but let's see how we get there. And before the vote happened, yeah, I didn't know.
Yeah, I was like, okay, I was right, but by the time tribal council rolled around, I didn't expect to be right.
Right. I was seeing that scenario. Michael plays his idol. Libby goes home. I
guess I
saw
was
it,
too.
yeah.
Well, I mean,
But-
if it was going to be someone else, they would have at least said something. You
Right.
know? Like
Well,
giving you some
Michael was
clue.
talking about Wendell.
Wendell was the only one I
Yeah.
was worried about. Yeah.
They mentioned
I was
both
like,
Michael,
huh?
Libby, and Wendell.
He could get
Yeah.
screwed because they gave us, like you said, a lot about Laurel Donathan targeting him.
And Wendell was
Yeah.
very present in this episode. I almost feel
Yeah.
like you should have taken a page out of Dom's book and
Cool out.
cool
out,
out,
man.
Cool out.
But then what did he do exactly?
Well, he won the reward challenge for
He
his
won
team.
that, but that's reward. Everybody
had
wants
that
to win
taco.
Oh, and then
Floral.
he gave a speech with his margarita.
Yeah.
He's like, I just
Oh,
want to
yeah, I
say,
was
good
like-
job, guys. Like, that's what Dominic did at the friggin' merge feast.
But
He's
he
like, raised
was
his
like
wine
the
glass. He's like,
captain of
you guys
sports
are
for that
awesome.
team.
Good job, everyone.
He
But
was
did
the
you see-
team captain.
I want to point out, did you see Donathan's face during Wendell's speech?
Did
He
you roll
was
his
just
eyes?
No, he was glowing.
Oh.
He was so happy.
Because he's in love with Wendell
And
too.
he's in love with being there, I
yeah,
think. Like
he's in love with everyone.
He's just so happy sometimes, and it's so sweet to
So
see it. I
happy.
just love Donathan.
That's one thing I noticed in this episode is you're really starting to see this cast having a lot more fun.
Mm.
Like, because you got to imagine when they're first starting out, the first week there, probably you're stiff and you're like nervous to be on
Mhm.
camera,
Mhm.
nervous about the game, but you can see they're all like,
getting
they're like,
comfortable.
I'm here, I'm 20 days in, like I could win this thing.
Mhm.
And when they all start to feel that way, they start to have fun.
This is like the best part of the season.
Oh,
usually,
definitely.
you know?
Yeah, they're all
Yeah.
all the characters are there that you like a lot of the time, and
and they get this confidence about them because they're
Yeah.
like, I'm 20 days in, I'm on Survivor,
Mhm.
I am a character, like I can say what I want and do what I
Mhm.
want and have fun.
Mm-hmm.
And I really noticed it in this episode, especially
Yeah.
during that reward challenge. Everyone, the way people were yelling things like tacos, you know, like tacos, Dom, or is that what he yelled at Dom? I think it was Michael. He's like, tacos, Dom, tacos.
That was
Just like-
probably Seabass.
I think it was Michael. Actually,
Oh,
It's
okay.
funny.
See, I think people like Michael. It's just not coming across.
Yeah, I feel like when he tries to get something going with people,
They
just
don't want
listen.
to align with
He's
him, but they like to
Malolo.
be in
They know
around
he's
him.
like on the outs,
Dude,
so
this
nobody
Navo-
wants to. Just,
He's a leper.
This Navidi Malolo thing is for real.
It's
I
super
think so.
annoying.
Yeah.
It's like stop
It's really
it.
like hanging on.
It
Like,
is. It's
you know?
lingering, and I called it, man. I called it. I'll just say it.
Props.
Props to
Ew.
me.
I really
So-
foresee an end game where you're sitting there with Angela, Kellen, and Chelsea at the end.
Darkest timeline.
I mean, I see it. I can see it real.
No.
Kellen and who?
Angela, Chelsea, Kellen.
Chelsea. Okay, sorry, I missed the last one.
I know. Chelsea has a lot of who associated with her.
Yeah.
Although she did fulfill her goal of participating in this
Yes,
challenge.
so funny.
What the hell was
I
that?
don't know. It was like a
What
slam.
did he mean by
I
that?
think it was a slam.
Jeff literally said that, right?
He
Chelsea,
did. He was like,
fulfilling her
Chelsea
goal of
fulfilled her goal of
participating.
participating. Yes.
Was
Because
What a
that?
everyone
lofty
had
goal.
to do it. But a lot of people did
Everybody
that.
played.
Oh
Ran
no,
out
this is why he said it. I know why he said it.
Oh, you figured it out.
because you
Okay.
had to
You're-
do it. You
You,
had to
everybody
play.
had to go once before
Yeah.
you could, like Wendell could
Oh,
go all the time. Yeah,
fulfilling
But it
her
just
need.
sounded
it was a weird
like
way of
they
putting it.
picked him saying that to put it in the show.
It's like
To
he
be
was
funny,
spoon
yeah.
feeding the Reddit Slay Queen people for another line because now they're all like Queen of fulfilling her goal to participate. When before she was the Queen of sitting.
What
I'm
did you say
sitting.
her first line was? Oh yeah, I'm sitting.
I'm
yeah.
sitting. She twice 2 challenges. She was sitting. She's the Queen of sitting. Goddess Chelsea has spoken.
She actually didn't speak once in the first episode.
No, she
No,
didn't.
there
She
were a
was
few. I
episodes?
think there were a few.
2.
I think the
The
first 2
2-hour
not a
premiere,
word, not
yeah.
a word was spoken by her.
Mm-mm.
They showed
doesn't
her.
need to
She
speak.
showed she. If I
She's
remember
the
right,
queen.
she's in one shot of Camp Life, like for like a split second, and that's it for the
Yeah.
first 2 episodes. So
Yeah.
that person can't win. I'm
No,
sorry.
they won't.
Michelle
she
Fitzgerald won.
Will not win.
But that's our dual winner pick.
I know it is.
Bring it home,
one,
Chelsea.
guys.
I've got like 5 winner picks. So
Yeah, one of our listeners was asking who your winner pick was.
like at this point in the game,
Well,
I
you can't do it now.
Well, I thought that's what they were asking is who does Dave think is
Who
going
did
to
you?
win
You
now?
picked Brendan at the beginning.
Yeah, which was terrible.
Well,
and I knew it was.
wasn't bad.
Because we talked about this. I was saying how much Survivor previews, they only show certain people, and those are the people that go far. And Brendan was not featured before.
Hey, I want to.
So big mistake.
I want to say, after that conversation, I went back and looked at the season preview. They showed 2 people.
Well, there's lots of previews.
I thought you were just talking about the season preview at the end of the last season.
Oh, but Wendell was one of
They
those.
showed Kellen and
Wendell,
and he was the one I. Once again,
Desiree.
he was the one I talked about. So Wendell was the one I talked about in our season finale podcast from last season. That I said they showed one shot of this guy with an afro, and I said that guy's gonna win. That guy's gonna win
right now. That's really
so. That was my gut instinct. Then I went with Brendan just to be different, which was dumb.
I know. We always have to do that, though. It's like, oh, everyone else wants this, then I want this.
Yeah. And then the consensus was also Kellen had a really good shot. So she's my MVP in our fantasy thing, Kellen. So right now, I think Kellen's going to win. I still think that.
I'm skeptical.
I still think Kellen's going to win because she's not a target. She's not a target.
I blocked that from my memory.
She's in position to win. She's in. I
don't think people like her enough. Well, people on the show
doesn't matter if people
they seem to
out
root
there
for her.
like her.
You just need to root. If there's enough people out there like, go Kellen, go get him, buddy.
Just go.
Go get him, little buddy.
I
That's
just
what
don't
she
have
is.
that
you know?
gear in me.
Yeah, but they do. They all do, and they'll give her the money. They will.
I feel that way about Jonathan.
Yeah, but they won't give him the money.
No.
Jonathan's got tie final 3-0 vote written all over.
So you have to have some kind of agency. Nobody's seeing Jonathan's agency.
Yeah,
he has chops.
He does.
He does.
Yeah.
But he does it so secretly and sneakily, and no one even because he plants little seeds.
Oh yeah.
And those seeds sometimes grow into little trees.
Look what he did with Dominic last week. Like he's telling Dominic.
And
but he is running around telling everybody everything, so that can be a problem.
Yeah, he's a little weasel.
He's a weasel. He's a bit of a weasel.
Cute little weasel.
I know,
he's like one of those fluffy pet weasels.
Yeah,
wait,
cute.
you can't have a pet like a ferret.
A ferret.
Well, he's like
a ferret.
He's like a piece of Easter candy. You know?
I've heard.
You just want to nibble on a hunk of Jonathan.
I never watched that. Did you watch that secret scene?
I did.
Is it weird?
He wants to nibble on him. It's strange.
I don't know what the hell Seabass is talking
about. It's the stony baloney. It's just part of him.
I wonder if they're giving him.
I think they are.
Happy 420, everyone.
Oh yes.
Happy 420, Seabass.
To you, Seabass, and probably Jenna, because you're probably with him.
They're probably watching this blazing right now.
Oh yes, they never miss an obscure Survivor podcast.
They're talking to us through the podcast.
Whoa. Anyways,
that's weird. Okay.
Oh, Jenna went to Ghost Island.
Oh, that didn't need to be shown at all.
No, they're like, oh man, we have to show this.
Yeah, but they have to. Yeah, and
Rob, they showed as little of it as they could.
Yeah, yeah, they did. They narrowed it down. But yeah, Rob and Steven made a really good point about comparing it to Exile Island. It's like I feel like that's kind of why they abandoned Exile Island, is because they felt like every week they're obligated to show these people on Exile Island, and most of the time nothing happens.
Yeah,
they're just sitting there alone.
Well, yeah, because the person's gonna find it. At least with Exile, one of the problems with that is if a person finds the idol right away, then every time they go to Exile, it's pointless. Where at least with Ghost Island, there's a chance of something every time theoretically.
Were you surprised that Jenna didn't get to play the game?
No,
not at all. As soon as I didn't even she had the rock, I was like, this is going to be the most boring Ghost Island.
At least they kept it short, but like even most people who just go have like an emotional story, and she's just like, my positive attitude went down the drain.
Is that what she said? I don't know.
That was a good Jenna impression. Holy
was it?
Yeah, that was pretty good.
She has a voice that doesn't go with her body.
She's very like a really nerdy.
She's a very beautiful person, but it's like the voice is like
Sorry. Okay. Sorry.
She just puts you to sleep instantly.
A little bit.
Yeah, I have that too. I feel bad.
She must be fun. A couple people's voices in this episode, I was like, they need some coffee or something. Libby was one of them.
Oh, Michael.
And I'm sorry, Michael was one of them too.
But he's
really? Oh well.
He's 18.
He's also a robot. Like you were saying, he's one of those hosts.
He's a Westworld host.
Yeah.
Everyone always talked about James as being a robot. I miss James.
He just sits like this.
Oh yeah.
When he's running on the beach.
But Michael has
I'm
that
running.
too. Maybe that's why they liked each other. They were-
Perfect form.
Hello.
They didn't
fellow.
like each other. He voted his ass out.
Oh, I thought they were friends. I forgot.
Mhm.
See, I already forgot.
No, not so much.
That's how much I remember.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they're fine, but they weren't like tight.
Oh,
Yep.
okay. Well, they were. What was it that tied them together? They were both like outsiders, right?
When they went back to third Malolo, they were the only original Malolos.
That's what it
but
was,
he
yeah.
still had Kellen and
Oh,
whoever, Angela.
okay. But yeah, he's very robotic. You know.
Yeah.
He can be.
But he can also be
But
eloquent.
when he
so
delivers
it's
those
like,
speeches
yeah.
in tribal council,
like what he said about the time
bomb. He had a
Yeah.
time bomb analogy that was really good. Who
You
is
think he just sits in camp and like thinks about like
I'm
analogies?
guessing
and
a
He's a
lot.
robot.
A lot of the cast members probably do that. Like they spend a good amount of time thinking about like, what am I going to say at tribal? Because I know Probst is going to ask me all these questions, and
Yeah.
production's going to be like, give us something.
It's like
give
getting
us
called
something.
on.
Kellen's over in
Well,
the
Kellen's-
corner ready.
Yeah.
Kellen's obviously got canned stuff.
Yeah.
Although tonight,
What did she
Oh,
say
she said the
today?
most cliche thing
Yeah.
ever.
There's gonna be a. Oh yeah.
there's going to be a vote.
You do it.
No, I'm not.
No, do it. Come on.
What
I
does-
didn't get too
What
much.
does she say though?
She
I
said
can't-
there's gonna be a line drawn in the sand, and we're gonna know where people stand. It's like no dumb shit, Kellen. You're gonna know where people stand.
Yeah, I
That
hate those
happens
cliche
every
answers.
week.
And then you guys said you liked Desi's response, but I thought that was pretty.
That was a little.
pretty bad
I thought
answer,
What was
so
too.
hers?
too.
What
I
did
said
she-
I liked her fate as the homie.
She said,
of this
if-
one.
Oh, that's awesome.
If
Well,
you're
she's
not making big moves, you're
Oh.
not playing the game right. Says someone who's never seen Survivor.
yeah, like she doesn't know the show. So
But she's giving Probst
She's
what he
heard.
wants.
I mean,
so
for her not seeing the show though, I'm constantly impressed by.
I would
her
like to see
savvy.
more
Yeah,
of her
Yeah,
game,
I
and it looks like
know.
next week maybe we will.
but last
Yeah,
week
it'll
we.
be her swan song, I think maybe.
Yeah, it could be. Could be.
I know. I don't want her to go. I like her a lot.
Well, last week we saw Desi was the one gunning for Libby, or the
That's
one
true.
leading the
Yeah.
charge, and this week
She
got
voted
away.
for her. The
Yeah.
four, in case you're wondering, there were 4 votes for Libby.
So who were they?
So 2 more votes for Wendell would not have done anything, which is what some podcasters were saying. But anyway, the votes for Libby were Desi.
Why do you guys call her Desi? It's Desiree.
Oh, because I'm thinking of last
I know
season.
you guys
I'm
are.
sorry.
I always hear the
Desiree.
Oh shit! Okay,
Des.
sorry.
Some people call her Des.
The other black
Des.
lady.
Yeah, people call her
Desiree.
Des.
Desiree, Angela, Kellen, and Chelsea. Laura,
Okay.
no, that's not right.
Angela, Desiree,
No, not Angela. Desiree, Kellen, Chelsea, and Laurel
Laurel,
voted
right?
for Libby.
And why? Okay, why did Laurel vote for Desiree?
I think they just went with the plan. Jonathan voted for Michael, and then Laurel voted for Libby. The girls really had it in for Libby.
Yeah,
I
they
really
did.
don't know why.
I think you're jealous.
That's a basic answer. Be better than that.
I
well,
wouldn't,
it crosses your mind.
I wouldn't be jealous of Libby. What's there? to be
She's
jealous
pretty,
about?
but
Wow,
What
else?
shame me, jeez.
no, I just think
I
they
just don't.
didn't
I don't
trust
get
her.
Libby. I don't get Libby.
I don't think anybody gets Libby. And then this week she like wasn't doing exit interviews, and it's like,
Yeah.
Oh,
well,
really?
she just so happened to be out of the country
I guess
during the week her boot episode's on. I mean,
yeah,
it's obviously somebody who couldn't face, reality.
I suppose, yeah.
Why would you be like she's embarrassed?
Yeah,
Why?
because she
But why?
lost. Most
So?
people would feel that way. I don't blame her for feeling that way. I would feel that way. I'd be embarrassed to lose, even though in your brain you
I
can
guess-
you can justify it like, oh, only 1 out of 20 people wins. It's basically impossible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you
That's
still,
how I see
but
it.
still, every other person, everybody thinks they're gonna win when they go.
Maybe she
I
felt
wouldn't.
shafted.
If I got on the
I'm like,
show, I'd be like,
I hope
I'm not
I don't.
winning.
I hope I'm not the first one voted out.
Yeah, that's
like-
all I would
that-
go for.
I would pray to God my tribe wins immunity because that's the only way I'm not the first one voted out. He's like, what is with this dude? Let's get him out of here.
I don't know.
He's weird.
There
Yeah.
always
He's
could be a
weird.
Ghost Island. They could send you to Ghost Island.
Yeah, they're like, send the weirdo to Ghost Island. Like Jacob. I'd basically be Jacob.
No, you.
You're
wouldn't.
not
I fit into that
Jacob.
archetype.
No.
I'm Wendell. I'm totally Wendell.
No,
You're
Wendell.
Wendell.
Not athletic.
You're
enough.
somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, Wendell's
Yeah,
like.
that's a pretty wide spectrum.
Yeah, Wendell seems pretty type A, actually. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
maybe a bit. He's
uh,
very.
Maybe I would hate him in
outgoing.
real life.
yeah,
Maybe.
No.
he does look like
Childish Gambino. Yeah, I
doesn't
know.
And he sounds like Q-Tip.
he?
No, you
Does
guys
he?
know who that is? The
I
rapper.
don't remember.
He sounds just like Q-Tip.
Oh.
Listen to him.
I like
Yeah.
his voice.
Yeah.
Well,
it
we
sounds
all
like
know
Q-Tip.
by now I like everything about him. Eventually, there will be something I don't like. I didn't like tonight. I'll say something I didn't like about him.
What's that?
When during the challenge, when he looks over at Dom, and he's like, "How you doing, Dom?" He's like, "Actually, that was kind of badass. Never mind."
Really?
Oh,
I
when
didn't
he
even
hit
see that.
hit the shot.
They were both doing slingshot at
Oh,
the
they were
same
both
time, and
pulling it
Wendell
back.
was like, "Hey, Dom, how's it going?"
No, that's actually pretty cool.
And that's actually kind of badass now that I remember.
Jeff dropped like a little like a Easter egg. He's like Wendell and Dom side by side or something like that. And I thought that was like a little hint to everyone else, like these two are side by
hey
side.
guys.
Side by side.
Yeah.
Probst loves guy on guy action, not the way that
God.
sounds, but like
Jeez.
either a rivalry, like Terry versus
Like
Aris,
Rams.
Chris versus
two
Dom.
battering Rams,
Two battering Rams.
or like
Or
a
guy
bromance,
A
throwdown,
bromance, yeah, like Sebastian and Chris Noble.
which kind of fizzled out pretty hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, that didn't go anywhere.
Like
that
apparently
storyline.
Dominic and Chris Noble now in real life, who are in
Yeah.
love with each other.
Bromance.
Yeah. Maybe that's what it was all about from the beginning.
It was hate sprung from love.
Mhm.
Like Ryan and Devin.
Hate sprung from
Yeah.
attraction.
They didn't play that up
They
very
didn't
much.
play that up either.
Yeah.
Anywho.
What else did Probst say that we thought was funny? He had
Go to sleep.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
The go to
What was
sleep.
that
What
in
was he
reference
talking
to?
about?
He was talking about how people
you
you're
lull
reassuring
them.
your alliances.
You're not at the bottom. You're not at the
fine.
bottom.
Go to
Go to
sleep.
sleep. And then like nobody responded. There's
They were
that
all
silence.
terrified.
There's like a pregnant pause after he said that. They're like,
I thought
what?
people laughed at
We
it.
all
think we-
laughed.
Oh, maybe I was too busy laughing. to listen to everyone else. I was like, that's awesome.
Which was
Probst.
funny.
Good old Probst.
But yeah,
What else do we need to say about this episode?
Oh
don't
man,
know.
we haven't really.
what else
okay.
happened?
Reward, immunity.
Stuff in between.
Do you think
People, you can always look at characters like,
Yeah.
have we talked about everybody that is important? I think so.
Angela, we talked about her.
We talked about Angela.
Queen Chelsea?
Queen Chelsea.
Yeah, what do you guys think of Angela's chances in the game? I think we said that.
Nil.
Good.
No,
I think she could go
Someone-
far. I think she could be final three, but I don't think she could win.
but who would take her as final three?
Kellen.
Kellen
Everybody.
would take her because she knows she
Anybody
could beat
and
her.
everybody. She's a goat. She's got goat.
But Wendell has deals with like Laurel and Jonathan. But if they
But
turn
that's
on
a
him,
4. Like they're still outnumbered, even if they're looking at that 4. Like I'm
They
one-
just need to convince two. It doesn't matter who.
I'm
two
just curious
people.
what their plan is to get to the 4, because they can't get there with 4.
Right.
Maybe with 4 and 2 idols, maybe they can. But
I think they're kind of playing it by ear. Like, let's just try to get 2 to flip when it comes to that time, which would be next week, right?
so why wouldn't they just bring over the Malolos?
Be the smart thing to do,
maybe
which
that's
could
what they'll
happen
do.
next week. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, you said
It said that in the preview was like it's chaos.
Yep. Go if you go by what Jeff says, then,
Jeff doesn't lie, except sometimes he does.
which I think it's time to get into predictions for next
Oh,
week.
sure, yeah. I don't even know. I mean, I think I know what David's gonna pick.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna pick Michael, but then you told me this Jeff stuff, and it's
Maybe
been
it's
proven to be
all-
true.
It has.
It's been proven to be true, so it's gonna be somebody unexpected. I don't know if it's gonna be Dez. I don't.
I know who Catie wants to pick.
And
I'm not gonna pick her.
and I think it could be Kellen. I think that's possible.
Somebody else pick her.
But
I'll
I'm not.
pick her.
I'm not gonna pick.
I'll
her.
take Kellen.
She's
Okay.
got Kellen.
I think they will blindside either Dominic or Wendell. It's which one.
Yeah, I mean,
And I think Wendell
Yeah.
has planted the seeds with Laurel of a trust and a bond where she's
I don't know
gonna
if Dom has.
where she's gonna if she's gonna target one of them, she's gonna target Dominic.
Yeah,
And
and then talk to Wendell
and
after.
and I think everyone else left
Maybe.
could agree that Dominic needs to go.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with my same pick as last week and say Dominic.
You
gets-
know you have to be right.
I
You
Are
know
you
what you're
thinking
putting
about
out
that?
into the universe.
Well, see, my gut says Michael, but what you said changes my mind. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna go with Dominic.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good pick.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think it's going to be a big one. That's why
So
Jeff would say
is
that.
it Dominic, Wendell, or Kellen? Is the
Yeah,
question.
basically, or Michael. I mean, he could be considered a big character.
but
but
it's an obvious vote,
Yeah.
and Jeff wouldn't say it if it's an
That's true.
obvious vote.
That's true.
So
Come on, Catie.
Katie.
Oh, was it me?
So
Well-
Dominic, Kellen.
Oh,
Is it
is
me?
it my turn?
You can pick Dominic
You
too.
can pick Kellen.
You could pick Kellen.
I think the gut is a good
Oh,
combination
God.
of your head and your
Shut
heart.
Oh.
So, sorry. I think I'm just gonna pick Wendell because just get myself
Ooh.
used to the
You're
idea.
putting that out there.
He's
It's
gonna
out
be. He's
there.
gonna be a target.
Once your name is down, It's out there, and his name was
Catie
down.
knows something we don't.
I know nothing. I know nothing.
Has he been
Why would she
featured in
pick Wendell?
Instagram photos with any cast members recently? Because I swear Instagram gives away.
It doesn't give away anything.
Has he been or not?
All I've seen him with is Bryce from Kagayan.
So it's happened. It's coming.
That's the death knell when
That's
you're
it.
hanging out with the purple pants badass.
Purple Pants
Then you're going home.
Babass.
Badass.
I don't even
Badass.
remember who that is.
He's amazing. You should listen to his podcast.
Kage boot 4.
He was an early boot. Anyway, I'm just saying I
He's
want
fabulous.
to steal my
Oh,
heart
fabulous.
and ready myself. And picking who I want to go home does not work for me. So I'm going to pick who I don't want to go home, and then maybe who I want to go home will go
And
home.
I'll pick who you want to go home.
Yeah,
Yes,
there we go.
We're covered.
Sweet. Okay, MVPs for the episode.
Ooh.
I always pick.
There's a
Wendell.
lot
I can't
of-
pick him again.
there's a lot of
I'll pick
options here.
Michael because it was a good idol play.
Okay.
It was. Yeah.
So I think we could all agree on Michael. Any other MVPs that
I suppose
deserving.
somebody should pick Angela. I just didn't.
I'm not picking
I'm not
Angela.
gonna do it.
I'd like to say Wendell, because like he somehow figured out that he didn't need to play his idol when it was damn close to him needing to play that idol.
I don't think
So,
it was as close as people are thinking.
Yeah, maybe not.
4 votes on Libby. Michael would have needed.
He could have easily
3
convinced
more people.
He could have easily convinced, enough people.
But he
Good
was
flip.
right. If the Mololos could have stuck together, they could have got Wendell out and turned the game on its ass.
Right. So Wendell snipped it out. I'll give him MVP for that. But
Okay.
Michael's the obvious one. I mean, yeah.
Okay.
I'll pick Jonathan for never giving up,
Following his heart.
Being a
and
weasel.
cementing his bond with Laurel,
Yeah.
and starting to form some little cracks in things.
Yeah.
And you never know what'll happen with that.
Yeah, I like that. That's a
Team
He's
that's a
Jonathan.
good pick.
Yeah. Delroy.
Cassie.
Why Delroy?
I just couldn't remember his name when the season started, so
You
I
called
called him Delroy.
Delroy.
What's that? Delroy.
I like Delroy.
So now he's my winner pick. No, he's
your
not
MVP.
actually. No, he's not. Desiree is. But I named my team after him, Delroy.
Delroy for the win.
I think that's the hashtag Delroy.
We
Delroy.
don't do that. We could.
If we
Yeah.
did. If we did.
That'd
That's
be
what it
Delroy
would be.
for the
Delroy
win.
for the win.
But for the spelled the
FTW.
number 4 THA win. No, I'm just
WIN.
kidding. It doesn't matter.
It's fine.
Okay. So anything else? Is that it?
Oh man.
That's it. Sorry.
That'll
If
do
I
it
was
for this
mean.
episode of the podcast.
Actually, you should say that at the end of every podcast.
Sorry if I was
Sorry
mean.
if I was mean.
Yeah. You can follow us on Twitter at TV is our real
Do
mom.
you ever do anything with the Twitter?
Not lately. I
Not
need to
really.
get back.
Do the
I
Twitter.
always mean to live tweet, but I get so engrossed in the episode. that
Yeah,
I
you
just
don't want to
don't
miss
think of
anything.
it.
Well, it's just like it's just a way of showing us that you're listening if you follow us, I guess.
Yeah,
And
I'll
then-
start being better on the Twitter.
Yeah, you don't have to. I mean,
You could give me answer and I can.
I
Okay.
won't though.
sure, fine.
I will too.
All right. Okay.
We can both tweet.
Okay.
And what's the
So
other
stay
thing?
tuned for the tweets.
What's the other thing I say? Oh, thumbs up, comment,
Subscribe.
Oh.
You know, all that
She's not gonna
all
subscribe.
that cliche stuff
Yeah.
that people say at the end of these videos.
Yep.
You know?
Bye. Oh.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.
See you later.